Hi, my name is Amanuel. I'd like to offer some thoughts for this gathering that are a little more in tune with things that I've been reading and the kind of communities I've been in with incarcerated thinkers and artists. To reflect on the work of Dionne Brand and specifically the seminal "A Map to the Door of No Return" is an endeavor that can go many ways. The rich tapestry the text encompasses offers us a poetics which cuts through the narrative myths that leave us enamored with a violent world-making apparatus. As someone committed to thinking alongside incarcerated theorists, artists, and those in the crosshairs of the amalgamation of surveillance and incarceration, I find it pertinent to offer reflection on Brand and this an important text from an anti-carceral lens, specifically one which wrestles back our active survival tactics in the face of captivity, an ever-constricting city and world governed by colonial time and the logistics of supply and demand. In an essay titled "Our Freedom, Our Fight" is an essentially a work of the heart and spirit, Dhoruba bin Wahad offers a powerful meditation on the prospects of his freedom and the kind of lifeblood that animated his freedom dreams when the material reality left him. He says, quote, "One of the things that I have learned when I had nothing else to rely on, I had to visualize myself walking down those court stairs. I had to imagine myself hugging my attorneys. I had to visualize, and like Liz Fink told me, ever since she met me, I've been coming home. Dhoruba, ever since I met you 15 years ago, you've been getting out of prison," Liz Fink said. I said, "You know something, Liz? You're right. Every year I was coming home, and this year I did." This is a very, very kind of generative essay that I like to reflect back on a lot. But as I was turning back to a map, I found it was such a beautiful pairing with one of the kind of visual images that Brand also stirs up. So I'd like to also read a quote from "A Map to the Door of No Return." "Stories of Africans flying home to Africa or walking home on the ocean floor abound in continental America and the archipelago. Africans born in Africa were said to know how to fly. If when they arrived in the Americas, one legend has it, they did not eat salt, they could fly back home. Salt would weigh them down or turn their blood," quote, end quote. Both Brand and Bin Wahad are after something beyond Mirage in my estimation. And I would like to sit with their formulations, with their calls to wrestle our imaginations from the deep well of captivity and colonial structures of place and time. In many ways, the prescient analysis of Those Behind Cages mirrors some of the way Brand thinks about world making and the kind of concessions the city makes to disappear those it deems disposable. How might our intellectual and spiritual offerings think the corner, the cage, the border, the plantation better? I think one surefire way is to understand that time is organized most violently in these places that I've just mentioned. Here, I'm kind of thinking of Brand's super useful formation that capital also steals time by organizing it. Another way might be to follow Brand's lead in "A Map to the Door of No Return" by understanding that to live in the Black diaspora is to live as a fiction. There is a clarity, a freeing kind of impulse that may exist and grow if we accept many of these truths that "A Map to the Door of No Return" wrestles with. Firstly, it pushes away from kind of being enamored with a politics of first, a politics of origin. The text is right in noting the kind of coercive nature of these arbitrary origins and the myths that grow out of them. Similarly, as prisons are erected from sea to sea, the answer to the question Brand so eloquently asks in the text is answered tenfold. Nation predicated on what is asks? I would answer destruction, despair, the warehousing of poor Black and brown people, and as Brand herself notes, the quote, "specter of captivity," end quote. I remain very thankful for the myriad of ways Brand's poetics offer me clarity as I attempt to make sense of the open-air prison the earth has become. I take some refuge in knowing our imaginations and our relations with others might offer the early inklings of a planetary solidarity that may cut through the violent world making that propels us. This is not an invitation for redemptive hope or a kind of purist vision of what it means to be in community with others, but instead a call that a kind of planetary solidarity is possible if we fight for it. It is an active call to wrestle our dreams back from the neoliberal state, which has been, quote, organizing our transparency and controlling our dreams, end quote, as Brand emphatically put in her 2020 RWB conversation with Dr. Ronaldo Walcott. While the specter of war may haunt many of us as a kind of guiding label and logic, it also presents a kind of clarity. As long as the end of the tunnel brings extinction for so many, like Mumia Abu-Jamal suggested in his essay Teetering on the Brink, we must not beg the archive to yield what it has never sowed. And here I'm kind of riffing on the words of Felicia Denode in her phenomenal essay on gestation. In many ways, Brand's poetics offer us a reprieve from the quantifiable in a way which problematizes our fidelity to language. What might it mean to carefully read her oeuvre with the understanding that the hyper-focus on firstness never animated her ways of thinking about relation and diaspora? That not everyone desires a golden ticket a la Willy Wonka to the throes of the Western literary canon serves as a useful reorienting of the many ways Brand continues to offer us maps for thinking in the ordinary, the quotidian joy and despair which mark us. How might a cartography of the cargo serve as an intrinsically different poetic than one which is solely concerned with, quote, sails and majesty of tall ships, as Brand proclaimed? To sit in this proclamation, like Brand has, that we were here before, remains an acknowledgement of the stakes of living and dying, but also doubles as a promise to take part in the long journey of obliterating the logistics of time and supply and demand, while also being a part of something that may drive this verse into the future. I'm so thankful for being asked to speak on Brand, and I'm so excited to hear the other reflections. Thank you very much.